recently. I was analyzing what recruiters were thinking and saying about CVs and why were CVs being rejected. And because of that analysis, I was pulling stuff together so that I could come back and share exactly what they're saying and what to do. AI generated a suggestion, tell people to put their failures on their CVs as a way to show authenticity, to prove that they were actually there. I was shocked. And I said, never. That's terrible advice. I would never ask someone to do that. And that moment, it just came to me again what's happening right now. AI can execute, but it cannot judge. It doesn't have where I come from, what we call sense. And that gap is creating the only senior role that is actually growing all over the world, growing in the market, while everything else slowly disappears. You are watching AI appear everywhere. You've got 15 years in finance, maybe pharma, maybe consulting, maybe operations. You're in your 40s or in your 50s. You're watching junior people with prompt engineering skills get promoted over you. And you're thinking, am I sleepwalking into an AI nightmare? For some people, they're in a job search and it's tough because everywhere AI this, AI that. And they feel that they're being either penalized by AI or not being selected due to an AI gap. Your company may have just announced AI efficiency gains. Your skills feel like they're atrophying. You don't know if you should learn Python or pivot to consulting or just hope for the best. Here's what nobody else is telling you. Senior roles are disappearing. Management positions cut about 14%, except one role. And I'm going to show you exactly what that role is and why your 15 years of domain expertise is the entry requirement, not the disqualification, and the path to position it for the next 6 to 12 months. Okay. If we haven't met before, my name is Ladi. I have spent decades, roughly 20 years or so, in the executive recruiting, HR consulting, and more recently, career transition consulting space. I've placed over 200 professionals, and I just transformed my own career with using exactly what I'm about to show you. Let's go. Late last year, I read a report. McKinsey had just surveyed 2,000 companies globally. Here's what they found. 88% of companies are using AI in at least one function. So AI adoption, that's not the problem. Only 7% have successfully operationalized it across their enterprise. Think about that. That is an 81% gap. That 81% gap, that's where your next opportunity lives. Companies have spent millions on AI infrastructure. Everyone wants to get in on this AI thing before they are left behind. But the ones who have started and made the investment, quite a few of them are stuck at now what? Alex Singler, McKinsey's global AI leader, said it clearly. He said, the human in the loop is critical. For most AI insights, a human must interpret them for it to have impact. The notion of human in the loop is critical. So companies don't need more AI tools or more AI engineers. They need people who can bridge AI infrastructure to actual business outcomes using deep domain expertise. They've made quite a few of them have made investment, bought the tech. They have the engineers. They're building the tech. The challenge is to get people to use this AI that they've invested in a way that translates to actual bottom line gains. for the organization, making it operational. And companies are struggling to do this. They don't need the techies to do this. They need the people who understand the terrain, people who can bridge AI infrastructure to actual business outcomes using deep domain expertise. Finance people who understand regulatory constraints that AI will miss. Pharma people who know where clinical judgment overrides AI outputs. Operations people who can redesign workflows while maintaining governance. 81% of companies are currently struggling with this. Your 15 years of finance expertise, that is what makes you qualified. Let me show you what this looks like in, say, finance. I just worked with a senior finance professional. She was preparing for an interview, and they had sent her the questions that they wanted her to answer in the session. And one of the questions was, they asked her to demonstrate how she will lead responsible AI adoption, right? And there are several bullets on that. They wanted to see her approach to data strategy, to AI governance, to cross-functional collaboration, to leadership and guiding the team to use this. They said demonstrate, right? She had, of course, started drafting various data. And I said to her, look, this is not something that you speak. Then they say demonstrate, you demonstrate. So we didn't do PowerPoint slides. What we did was we built a working demo, right? A working AI tool. And it showed, it was a whole workflow. We generated the data. We then automated the process. It demonstrated how she would automate a core finance workflow. It was variance analysis, where the governance checkpoints would live in that process, how she would validate AI outputs against regulatory constraints, where the human judgment, the human in the loop, was just through the process, and how the way in which the AI tool we put together worked required fully cross-functional collaboration to pull in the various information. At the end of the day, she had a working tool that she could take and demonstrate it. She walked in with proof of her ability to orchestrate, not theory, evidence. This is happening. Another example I will share with you in engineering. They now require senior engineers as part of their selection process to submit their prompt logs, not the code, not just the code output, their prompt logs. So in effect, they assume that these engineers will use AI for coding. What they're saying is show us prompt logs, the prompts that directed the AI to create it. And what they're assessing for is how well did you translate the problem? Where did you validate? Seeing how the candidates are thinking, seeing how they're applying the AI, see how they're applying guardrails. It's not about which tool you use. It's about, can you coordinate AI while maintaining judgment? Are you able to identify the points at which AI adds the most value? More importantly, are you able to recognize where AI will not add value or even be a problem? This role has a name. The name is the AI translator. At least that's what I like to call it, the AI translator. So not AI expert, not data scientist, the person who translates business problems into AI workflows while keeping human judgment where it matters. The person who makes it easy for everyone else to do their jobs much better, to use AI to make work better. So here's what's actually changing. Your value used to be execution. In finance, you would probably have built your financial models yourself in Excel or whatever tool you were used to using. In Pharma, you probably have drafted compliance documents yourself. In operations, you will probably have created forecasts yourself. AI can execute now. Anything that's knowledge-based, AI can pretty much help you execute. Here's why your experience is crucial I always say to people when I'm talking about AI use, you start first with what you know and know well, right? Because if you don't know, how are you able to tell the quality of what AI is giving you? Your 15 years is not a liability. It's the prerequisite for orchestration. No one can orchestrate what they don't deeply understand. This is why this is the only senior role that is growing and will continue to grow for at least the next foreseeable 12 months. Most people use AI like a calculator. Explain this variance, summarize this regulation, write this email. AI translators use AI as an amplifier. They redesign entire workflows. Some even enable AI agents, right? So once they design it the first time, then the AI agent can take that task and run with it and keep repeating it with a human being checking at certain points. For instance, companies now know you have to have a human like in the loop. Right now, companies are changing their hiring criteria. They're asking you to demonstrate your governance approach or your strategy for using AI to run your function. The market needs domain experts who understand how to get AI to work every day and deliver real value with governance intact, with all the safety guardrails intact, and who can make sure that judgment and accountability are firmly in the loop. That is orchestrating AI, right? Okay. So if you want to explore this further and you want to take a serious look at where you are, where you might be able to go to, where the market is going with this AI thing when it comes to your role or your industry, right? If you want support to help you figure out your specific path, you can book an AI career strategy session with me and we will work together. We will analyze, is your role AI proof? Does it require orchestration or is your role at risk? What should your internal positioning be? What should your external position be? What workflows will you redesign? What's a good 6-month roadmap from where you are to get to where you're AI relevant, AI competent, and can therefore pursue all these opportunities that are coming out? That's what the session is for. I put a link in the description. I do 10 slots per month. So go ahead and book. Let's figure this out together. Subscribe to get market intelligence videos like this weekly. I come to you with data over opinion, reality over motivation, analyze what's actually happening in the market and show you what the trends are. What questions do you have particularly around this matter? I want to just reiterate, AI can execute, but it cannot judge. Senior roles are disappearing except AI translators. The people who can coordinate AI using 15 years of domain expertise. Those are the people who own today and the future. Start documenting your orchestration now or wait 12 months to compete with people who already have the evidence. Thank you for watching.